Hello, welcome back to Single Mom on a Farm. This is question and answer number 16. Thank you so much for continuing to send so many wonderful questions. I just love this. Alrighty, let's get started. How is your sister with cancer doing? That's so sweet of you to remember and to think about her. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. So I think she's doing pretty well. She had mastectomy back in April, and then she started her chemo treatments. So she's been doing them all summer. I think she's done 4. My other sisters and my sister-in-law have gone out to help her each time. I got my passport just in case I needed to go. And then Caitlin and McKenna and Talia also applied for their passports in case I could take one of them or whatever. They really wanted to go and help her and see her and support her and cheer her up. But we weren't needed to go. And also, they were never able to get their passports because we can't get their father's signature in a mental hospital. So we're working through all the obstacles with that. That's crazy. But how is she doing? So she did all of her treatments. So she's going to be done for a little while. I think she's been struggling with a lot of infections, still hasn't gotten stitches out, but she is in good spirits and she is going to do her best to heal and get back up on her feet and get going again. She's taking this year off of teaching, but that was already planned before she found out she had cancer. She was already planning to take a gap year. She teaches at international schools, so she moves around like every 3 years. And so she had been saving her money like crazy, and so that she could take a year off and just teach online for some additional income and then be able to travel and maybe come and see us or stay with us and her other siblings and see other countries and states. So that's what she's still planning to do this year, is to teach online and travel a bit and then get back into teaching next year. And so I think she's doing okay. So thank you so much for asking. Next question. Which children are more like you were as a child? And which are more like their dad as a child, in looks and personality? I know with my own children, it's fun to hear them banter about which traits they feel are more like myself or like their dad. That sounds fun. I can just picture that. You must have a fun family. So I'm a Hoffman. It's Hoffmann. So I'm going to compare the Hoffmans and the Holidays, and I'm going to just talk about our strengths and weaknesses and which child comes after which parent. And I want to preface this by saying it's in no means to put either family down. So if either family's watching it, it's not to make you feel bad about yourself or anything. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses in families. It's just kind of fun to talk about them. Our weaknesses can become strong in most cases, and so I embrace my weaknesses. I know that God gave them to me for something to work on. And some things you can't really change. Like the Hoffmans have thunder thighs. We always joke about our thunder thighs. And sometimes there's like nothing you could do about that gene for thunder thigh. But anyway, and also, this is just general. So just take it with a grain of salt, because I might say like the Holidays are really musical and the Hoffmans will be like, hey, we're musical too. But in my opinion, when I'm saying something, it's just like more of a gift. More it comes naturally to them, a little bit easier than maybe the other family. So I'll start with the Hoffmans. So I would say the Hoffmans are fairly athletic. We love sports. We are pretty organized. We are good with our money and our finances. We love to travel. We're all really good hard workers, and we're all short. So those are some of the Hoffman traits that stick out in my head right away. Now for the Holidays, I feel like they are very musically gifted and that they're all very naturally smart. I mean, my family, we all have college educations. I have a sister who has a master's and a PhD, but I feel like we had to work extra hard for our degrees and grades and test scores and everything. And I feel like the Holidays just could easily ace any ACT or any test they took. So I feel like they were just more naturally smart and naturally musically talented. And I feel like they got really good thick hair, and they're all tall and kind of big boned are some of their features. So those are the two families that I'm going to be comparing for the kids. So you can see what you think belongs to each family, where they get different traits from. So I think Kylie looks a little bit more like my family, and I think she is a lot like me. She's very organized, very on top of things, studies a lot to get good grades. She was just great with all the younger kids. I mean, she just could line up all their clothes in order when it was time to go somewhere. And on our big trip, she was 11 when I took 7 kids across the country and back for 2 months. And so every night she had everybody's clothes laid out. I mean, she was just my right-hand arm girl. So I feel like she's very organized, like I am, and just loves children and loves to be on top of things, likes to get up early and get going on the day. So that's Kylie. But she's also very musically talented. She's great with her money, like my family. She's very punctual. So I would say she leans a little bit more towards my family. Madeline, I think she looks a little bit more like Nathan's family. She is just very, very sweet and compassionate. And Nathan's family is, they would just give you the shirt off your backs. And my family might be a tad bit more stingier because we're really good with our finances. And so we might be a little bit less generous. So I think Madeline would just do anything for anybody. She's a great listener, great massager. She is very laid back, very easygoing, and very smart. Now, Spencer, he loves the weather, and all Hoffmans love the weather, so he definitely takes after my side for that. He keeps track of the weather where we all live and is just fascinated with it. He is very talkative and is a great conversationalist. He's really energetic and loud. He's definitely gifted musically, like Nathan's family. And he loves sports, like my family. And he loves statistics, which is my family loves statistics. So whether it's keeping track of all the rain or the snowfall totals or all the sports teams, he is great with statistics. Alexis, I think she takes a little bit after me and my family. She is really talkative and can carry on a conversation with anybody at any time. She is very, very empathetic, so she really cares about people. She's a great listener. She is always just sharing and serving other people all the time and hardly ever thinks about herself. She loves to cook and bake and sew and do those kinds of things like I do. She's pretty organized and on top of things. She loves babies. She's just the biggest baby lover. So she's always wanted to work in a NICU ever since she was like 4 or 5 years old, or she's wanted multiples. So she is a baby lover like I am. Thomas, I think he's a lot like Nathan's family. He's very quiet. You don't really know what's on his mind, and he doesn't really ask you what's on your mind. So it's a little bit harder to talk to him because he's just not always talking. But yet he never ever like talks back or is sassy or anything, which is, kind of a plus for the quiet people. He is very, very smart. He's great with computers and tech stuff. He doesn't have to study very hard to get good grades or to figure things out. He can just figure things out without asking other people. His mind is just brilliant like that. I think Caitlin looks a lot like the holidays. She's got that really thick, naturally curly hair. It's just gorgeous. And she's tall. Y'all know that she loves to crochet, which I think comes from both families because both of our families love to crochet and do handiwork and sew and things. She loves to do yard work, so that probably comes from my family because we did a lot of yard work growing up. She's a very hard worker, and she's great with her money. So maybe those come from my side. And she's very musical, so definitely Nathan's family because she just loves music and is very talented at it. I think McKenna looks a lot like my mom, so she probably has more Hoffman traits than Holiday. She is short. She's my very first short child. She's number 7, so the first 6 kids were tall. I guess Alexis is average now, but for a long time she was very tall and thin, and all the other kids are really tall. So McKenna is short, and she is very empathetic. She cares about everybody. I mean, if you're sad, then she's sad. And if you need help, she will help you. Like, she can never sit down if someone else is working. If whether it's doing the dishes or folding clothes, she has to jump up and help. And that's kind of one of my traits too. She is very organized and on top of things, and she will play with anybody and do anything for anybody. Samuel is my other small child. He is short and small boned. But other than that, I think he takes after Nathan's family. He is very smart. He can figure anything out. He's great with computers and technology. He's really quiet. He doesn't talk a lot or be loud or, need a lot of attention. He loves to read. I think he's coming along well with music, but I can't tell if he's like naturally gifted as Nathan's family or just loves music and musical instruments like my family does. For Anderson, he probably will look like a Holiday. He's pretty big boned and is going to be really tall. He is really loud and talkative though, like my family. He is a good hard worker. He's not organized at all. He is probably my messiest kid, but that could come with time. He's super artistic, and that was something else I forgot to say, that the Holidays are really, really artistic, like gifted artistically, and my family likes art, but we're not as good at it. So Anderson and Talia are both very artistic. Actually, a lot of my kids are. Madeline and Alexis can draw fantastically, and I know that they get that from Nathan's side. Talia is a great artist also. She is very, very neat and organized. She's very on top of things. She can cook and, do like a lot of the homemaking things really easily. She is another highly empathetic child who rubs a back. If anyone is just getting a little bit agitated or upset, she'll just go and rub their back and share and just give anything to anybody. So those are my kids. I hopefully that answered your question about who gets traits from which side of the family. Thank you for asking, for being interested. That was a really fun question. All right, let's move along. Are you ever concerned about strangers camping in your woods? No, I've never once thought about that. I don't know why somebody would camp on someone else's property. That just never occurred to me to do that or that anybody else would. But to reassure you, I don't think that's going to happen. Is like everybody here has guns. We're all hunters. We're all trappers. So I wouldn't ever trespass on someone else's property. They could have a trap set or something like that. They could be out hunting, or they could just pull a gun on you. We actually had a gun pulled on us last Christmas when we were delivering treats at someone's doorstep, like ringing the doorbell. So I guess they just weren't expecting anybody, and it was dark. But so I wouldn't even, definitely not trespass on anyone's property. I don't know where they would park if they were to like get out their camping gear and camp, if that's what you mean. Like they'd have to come park down our driveway or something. So I don't think anybody does that around here. I'm not sure if other places they do that, but for sure not. I mean, for sure neighbors wouldn't, and I'm for sure strangers, I don't think they would. They would find a campground. But I have had that question several times, but I've never worried about anybody else on my property. This is the first time I've asked a question. Have any of your kids expressed interest in living on the property as adults? It's really beautiful. Thanks. Yes, I think so. I think Spencer was the first to say, save that piece of property for me. There's a really good view in one of our pastures that he would like to build a house. The trouble is a neighbor put like a manufactured home right next to it. So it kind of takes away, it's on their land, but it's like right on the border. So I'm not sure if my kids are going to want to build a house there now or not. But we'll see. I would love any of them to. And I'm hoping that somebody wants to. I would really love that, or at least live close by. I would really, really love some of my kids to come back to the area. So I'm hoping that they end up coming. Hi, Marcy. Do you and the kids ever worry about wildlife in the woods? Another woods question. No, not really. I worry about the coyotes, or I just don't like the coyotes. I guess I don't really worry about them, but I don't like hearing them. But other than that, we just worry about our chickens. So I don't like the wildlife because of that they're going to come get our chickens. Otherwise, I don't worry about for myself. We have seen bears a couple of times, and I love it. Like I love living in the woods. I love living amongst wildlife. It just makes me feel like I'm out in the country and not in the city because I didn't like living in the city. Marcy, have you ever considered selling this farm and buying something more manageable, say 5 acres in better shape? Not saying you're not doing a great job, but it's a lot of nonstop work. No, I don't really consider selling the farm. It was my dream place, and so I love it so much. But I do get this question a lot too. My only time I ever considered selling was right when Nathan stopped paying child support and I started freaking out. So when you make a decision in fear, like that's not the time to make a decision. And I wasn't necessarily fearful. It was that I felt like that's what everyone is going to think I should do, is to sell your farm, move to the city, get a job in town, an 8 to 5, put the kids in public school and daycare, and just live the rat race life. And which is not what I wanted to do at all. But I felt like the outside world would think that I need to do that as a single mom. That how can you stay out here and homeschool and earn a living? So I was a little bit tempted to, I guess, just because I thought that's what other people would think I should do, and I'm a kind of a people pleaser. But I did look a tiny bit, and there is not anywhere I can move to that could get a 5-bedroom house for $1,100 a month. Like it's not out there. So I was like, it doesn't make any sense to move to town, even if I could get a better paying job. But I looked around for jobs and I couldn't really find anything. So I probably need to go back to school to get like a special degree, a teaching degree or something. I don't know. I thought about it enough to write some pros and cons down and to pray about it, take it to Heavenly Father. Is this something that you want for my family? If I'm supposed to give up my farm, I will do it, but only if that's what you want, Lord, not what I want, because this is our dream place. And the price of this place is what really is easy to keep me here because I can't find anything else like this for $1,100-$1,200 a month. It just doesn't exist, except maybe like Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma seemed like a cheap state when I was looking for the cheapest states. And West Virginia had some really good land prices if I were to start from scratch. But we want to stay here. We love it here. So to move to find a 5-acre place, just nearby here, I still feel like that the prices have gone way up since we purchased our home. So it would be really hard to find another 5-bedroom house for this price, even with less land. But you're right, it is a lot of work. One thing I wanted to say was that when Joe, he was the person that sold us the house. So when I first found the house, I called the realtor and he said, "Oh, it's way out there. I'm not going to be able to show it to you for a while. It's been rainy, it's muddy, that kind of thing." And I got a hold of the owner. His name is Joe, such a sweet guy. And he videoed me his house in like 1 minute videos and emailed them to me. So I was able to get the video tour of the house because the realtor wouldn't. Anyway, so I put the offer in and things were moving along. And then he found out that I was single. And so he called me and was just like, "Marcy, like, I don't want to sell you this house. I don't want to do that to you. Like, this is a lot of work and you're single. I didn't realize that. You know, I feel like it's going to be too much work for you." And so I just cried. I cried and cried. And I talked to my sister, Trish, and she was just like, "Oh, whatever." I mean, she's just like, "I know Joe said it takes like days to prune all the fruit trees around there, but you love pruning fruit trees, Marcy." She's like, "I don't want to. That's why I'm not buying that. That's why I live in a city. I don't want to buy a place with fruit trees. I don't want to be doing that at my age. But you love it. That's what's going to fuel you. So you go at it and do it." And so it gave me so much strength. I mean, like, I really needed that conversation. That was a tender mercy conversation for me because she was right. Like, that's what I was searching for. I am very old fashioned. I love the old fashioned books, like from the 1800s and early 1900s, like especially the Rose Years. That's the Little House on the Prairie, her daughter, when they live on Rocky Ridge Farm in Missouri. And it's kind of in the mountains and it's 36 acres like we have, I think is what they got. It was really close to maybe 40 acres. But anyway, they had everything like the fruit trees and chickens and a cow and a garden and woods and creeks. And so that's kind of like what I bought. It was exactly to match them. But anyway, I wanted the hard work. I did not like living in the city where we don't really have much to do. The kids don't have much hard work to do. I love the old fashioned lifestyle of providing for yourselves on your farm, like trying to cut your own wood and grow your own food. I mean, we don't make our own clothes. We can sew some things. We can sew our curtains and stuff, but like we're not like, using wool or anything like that. But I love to make our own candles. I'm fine with power outages. I love to cook from scratch and grind our own wheat, make our bread, and all those kinds of things. So I love the old fashioned skills. And that's why I wanted to move here. It was to kind of like be like Rose Wilder in those times, I think. So anyway, so that's what I love about living here. I've always had a dream of having a hardworking farm and to provide as much as we can by ourselves, to be as self-sufficient as we can. And I know I won't ever get there to like my goal just because I am single and the kids are growing up really fast and they need a lot of time and attention. And I'm trying to balance some of like the modern stuff, like extracurricular activities and friends over. We're not just working on our farm 8 or 10 hours a day. But I like the balance to bring some of those old-fashioned skills. We love making yogurt and butter and cheese when we had our cow. We want to have more animals sometime to just have this lifestyle for a little while. Another reason why I do like the 36 acres, because I do love our woods and creeks, but mainly because it's far back from the road. I couldn't find anything far back from the road because at first I was just looking for 5 acres. That's about the size I grew up on. And it's back a dirt road, so it is very secluded. But around here, I couldn't find that. At least, I only looked for a few months, but everything I found was right on the road, and everything was 3 bedrooms. So when I found this one that had 5 bedrooms, even if they're really small, it can like still fit us all. It had 5 bedrooms and was back far from the road, which is what I wanted. I was done living by a street. I did not want neighbors, seeing my kids out. I didn't want cars to hear the cars going by or being scared of roads. I wanted to be able to be where they can just go play and I never had to worry about them if they're outside. So this is our dream farm. And I know we're supposed to be here. I mean, I was praying about the houses that I saw. So every night I looked for about 30 minutes was my allotted time when all the younger kids were in bed and just the older kids were just maybe up reading or writing in their journals. I would say I got 30 minutes to look at for houses. And night after night I would. And then the next night I would be like, I don't remember what I saw yesterday. So if it was important, if I were supposed to buy that house, Heavenly Father, you're going to have to make it stand out to me because none of these houses are standing out. But I'll buy whatever you tell me to. Even if it's a total rundown place, if that's where you want me, I will go there and fix it up. And I know you'll help me do it. So when I saw this one, it was just like this feeling washed all over me. I was like, that is my house. I knew it. I mean, I just did my happy dance. I got all giddy about it. Like there was no question that this was my house. So I looked at it again the next day and I found out that they were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because I could see there's pictures of Jesus Christ on the walls that are like similar to the ones we have that were painted by an LDS artist. So I was able to just call people of the church that live here and get their phone number, and I called and worked with them. They've lived here for 40 years before we moved here, and they took excellent care of it. They raised their 6 kids here. They loved it. It was such a wonderful, wonderful family home. I can call Joe anytime and ask him about anything. Like, what year did you get your dishwasher? And what about this? And how do you turn on the heater for the water pipes in the winter? And he will just help me out. I mean, I couldn't have bought from a better person and a better family. They loved this house. And I loved the feeling that I got here because of that family that had the 6 kids and the family before them that raised 11 kids here. The other houses that we had lived in were like every 3 years or getting new families. They've had some renters. They'd had, it was just a high turnover rate, a lot of changes, a lot of like just cover ups and patches on things. It wasn't very good quality. But this house was built with the rocks from the creek and the wood from the woods. Like it was just some great history and a great feeling. So I love this place. I hope to never leave. I'm so, so grateful that I got such a good price on it right before the prices went way up. And I got a great interest rate, a 3% interest rate. So I feel like my mortgage is just below $1,200. Like that is a perfect price for me. I don't think I can get any cheaper, especially for this much land and space and to have the 5 bedrooms. And we can even count like 6 with the reading spot because like all summer we've had 3 kids out there. We could put people in the playroom too if we needed to. We got room outside. So for when all 10 kids come home and my mom and my sisters and my in-laws, like I feel like we're kind of busting at the seams, but we do have some space. It's only 1,624 square feet, but they've organized it really well into small kitchen, small living room, and small bedrooms to fit us all in. So it is a perfect place for us. Sorry for that long answer, but I love this house. I could sell it for more than I bought it for because the price has gone way up, but I still don't think I could find anything better. And back to the work. I love the work. It's what I'm doing right now. And one last thought was, I think someone told me like, yeah, but what if you kill one of those fruit trees? And I was like, so I kill a fruit tree. I mean, they don't ask you that at Lowe's when they're buying a tree. Like, promise not to kill this tree. Like, we're allowed to try it. Because I felt really guilty. I was like, I know, what if I do kill one of the fruit trees? I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. I might not be that good at it. We did have fruit trees in my house growing up, and my dad took excellent care of them. So I hate that my dad is not alive to help me because he is just an expert at those kinds of things. But I felt Heavenly Father saying, this is your chance to try. I'll help you, and if things die, they die. I mean, we're all here to learn. So obviously some things are going to die, and things won't produce as well as you want. You won't keep it up as well as you want, but you have the chance to try. So yeah, somebody else could do a much better job of keeping this place up than I can, but I'm still creating wonderful childhood memories. And this is just like my special haven place where I can just sit out there so serenely and just, I love it. I just love it here. So it really fuels me. And now I don't have to like go out to the country as much because I love to hike, but I have here that just brings me so much joy and fulfillment. Okay, next question. Hopefully I don't drive you crazy with my questions, but I'm curious about your blog and YouTube. Are you on any other social media? And do you think it's a worthwhile investment of your time and energy? I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. We homeschool and my husband works a full-time job with lots of overtime, and we have a small farm. I've considered starting a YouTube or social media channel in the past for extra money. We live in a 2-bedroom house and would like to add on, but it takes us years to save enough money to do large projects like that. If you don't mind me asking, does YouTube pay? Or do you mostly get donations from folks wanting to give and donate? How much time do you spend on average videoing and editing videos? Do you think your kids mind being filmed? These are all the questions I wrestled with over the years. I'd love to help my husband supplement our income, but I also don't want to take anything from my homeschooling or time from my kids. Any advice is greatly appreciated. Okay, great question. So I've talked a little bit about YouTube in the past, but I will just say that it pays about $10 for every 1,000 views. So if you get 3,000 views, you're getting about $30. So it's really not worth it for all the time it takes. So I probably video like 2 or 3 hours, like a question and answer might take me that long because I get interrupted and to get set up and everything. Like I can hear the piano playing downstairs. So I'm wondering if I should pause the video and tell that person to stop. I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. So sometimes, I go to edit these like the next day, and then I hear there's too many distractions in the video and I have to redo the whole thing. So it does take a lot of time, especially if you're doing like these kind of where you sit down and you have to get all your kids settled somewhere else. So it does take quite a few hours, and editing takes me a long time. I need to get better at it. I would love to outsource that, but I can't afford that until your channel does really, really well, or you have some money to pay up front, to lose some money until you get subscribers enough to make it worth it. But anyway, just count on about $10 for every 1,000 views. Are you on any other social media? No, I've never liked social media, and I do have a Facebook because I'm supposed to be posting when I do videos, and I don't even do that. I hardly even keep up with that, and I would love to post some of my curriculum for sale and things, but I am terrible at it because I don't like social media. And I think I started Instagram, and I never did anything with it. And so, no, I don't have any other social media, and I think that's great because I don't like it. So if you can find a way to not do it. But if you do like social media, then, this would be a great career for you. But yeah, you're right about it taking away from your family and your children and your homeschooling. So that is just such a prayerful decision between you and the Lord of whether it's worth it or not. He asked if my kids mind being filmed, and they love it. Back in 2011 or 12, we used to watch TLC. It was when you didn't have to buy the whole channel, but you could just buy a season. And so we loved watching the Duggars, and I know some people are just hate them or love them or whatever. So I don't want to go into that. But at that time, we loved purchasing their season, and so we would get all the episodes. You can purchase it for $12.99 or something. So that was kind of our entertainment budget. And Nathan worked all kinds of hours all night long. And so once a week, we would watch one of their episodes, and we loved seeing what those kids were doing. And they had the indoor slide, and they would cook, and they would be outside with their chickens and homeschooling and just playing together so creatively without screens. So we loved them. And my kids wish that TLC would come to our house and film us. It's funny because just the other day when Madeline was here, she was saying, I just want to stay here and be on your YouTube channel. I love that you're doing this because I really wanted us to be filmed back when we lived in North Carolina, around 2010 and 11 and 12. And I really wanted to be filmed. I wanted to be on TV, and I wanted a YouTube channel. And I kind of thought of starting a YouTube channel probably around 2017 or 18. But I didn't watch YouTube. I didn't really know what it was. I had no idea how to upload it. I was not a camera person. I mean, I got my first smartphone in 2018. So that tells you about my social media or screen usage. I'm really just a hands-on person. So I'd rather somebody come and film us. But anyway, Madeline said, I really always wanted to be, on TV and everything. So, and the other kids also really like it. They're really proud of me. They're enjoying it. I can't tell with Thomas because he doesn't speak his mind. He says he's fine with it, but since he's not actively jumping in front of the screen like Caitlin does, then I don't put him in a lot of videos because I'm just not sure. And he's at 17 years old. It's kind of, you're not really sure what he thinks. But the other kids love it, and they're in it all the time. So if your kids love it, then go ahead and do it because you probably have so much valuable information to share. You can share it the way you homeschool. Every family is different, and you might have something that other people really need to hear and to see. And if your kids love showing off different skills that they're learning or whatever, I think you just need to do it. If it's in your heart to do it and it brings you a sense of peace, then do it. If you dread it and you're thinking this is something I should do to support my husband and to get these additions to our house, but I don't want to, then don't do it. Find a different way. Maybe you can teach piano lessons or bring in a few extra kids to homeschool or make food and sell it or whatever. There's plenty of ideas out there. None of them really felt right for me either. And so I'm trying this one to see if it does feel right. I started a blog in 2007. And I did family newsletters, weekly emails that I sent to my family since 2003 or 4. So I feel like all of that might have been so that I'd be good at this, that I'm good at sharing my family and what we're doing, because I already have that experience and natural ability, I guess. I've been doing it for so long, even though my channel is new and my blog is fairly new. This new blog, I've had that experience. So maybe it was to lead up to this. I don't know. I'm just trying it out and seeing. I know you can make a lot of money from even just food blogs. If you're really good at taking pictures of your food and writing recipes and then, putting it on Pinterest or using social media to advertise for it. I'm not good at that. Maybe it will come. Maybe I'll get better at uploading it, or maybe I can get one of my kids to put more on social media to spread the word more. I know you can get ads for your blog that can make a lot of money. I know you can sell like ebooks, cookbooks, sewing tutorials, candle making tutorials, anything that you're really good at. You can sell that. So bottom line is just go with your gut. If it feels exciting and new for you, then give it a try. And if it doesn't work out and you don't like it, you can quit it. It means you tried it, and you'll feel fulfilled just for trying whatever thought comes into your head. So I would just say try it. I'm glad that I applied for all the jobs I applied for just because I wanted to. Like I felt like I got to try this. I got to just apply for jobs and see how I feel, because being at home and saying, "Huh, I wonder if I'd be good at that job. I wonder if I should apply." It's not giving me an answer. I had to like physically go to that place and interview and see what a shift looks like to get a no. This is not right for me. So just try it and see if you get a yes or a no. And if you do, then share your channel with me. I would love to see it. What about your trip to New England? Are you guys still going to go? I know that was one of your goals this year. Thank you for remembering that that was one of my goals. That is so sweet. Yes, that was one of our family goals this fall, to go to New England. And I am really not sure about it. I really thought I would have a lot more money by now. You know, at the beginning of the year, you always think by the fall you'll be doing great. So I am praying about it and seeing. I also really hoped I would have disability money coming in by now. Then I would feel more peaceful about spending money on a trip. But I've looked at the map and it's really not that far away. So I probably will just take the kids at least somewhere. We also had wanted to go to Canada, like just to say we've been there. But since we haven't gotten passports yet, the kids, then I'm hesitant to go on this trip until we can get passports. But I'm also hesitant to put it off because the kids are growing so fast. I mean, now Thomas is out of the house. So I only have the 5 kids. Caitlin only has 2 more years here. And who knows if like next year she wants to go places with us. Right now, she was like, I will go everywhere you go. I love camping. I love road trips. I love this. But you know, they hit 16 and 17 and maybe they would rather stay home and babysit the chickens. Thomas really liked staying home and writing piano music while the house was quiet and taking care of the farm and doing the yard work and the chickens. He is not as much of a traveler as my other kids. And I needed a house sitter, so it worked out. But I don't know if that will happen to Caitlin. So I feel like we should take every opportunity we can while these children are in our house to do these trips. So I am thinking about it. I might go in a couple weeks in September because we do have some days off of play practice. And so that would be the best time to go, because then in October we perform the play and the rehearsals get every single night and it's hard to miss. Thanks for asking. The question being that I grew up with 9 siblings and know how it can get. How do you handle when 2 or more of your kids have arguments or fights with each other, or do they usually figure it out on their own? Apologizing, timeouts, both, etc. Great. I love this question and I get it a lot. How to raise kids to get along and to love each other and be respectful, and what to do when they're fighting and everything. So I'm going to do a whole video on this because I have some great ideas and I don't want to take too much time. So thank you for asking and look forward to seeing that video, hopefully coming pretty soon. And then here is a comment telling me that my kids work too hard. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe that they do work too hard, because I love the old-fashioned skills, like I said, and I love the families working together and growing our own food and providing for ourselves. So maybe they do work too hard, but I do value hard work. I know that for generations, kids worked all day. Have you read Little Britches? We just read that last year, and at 8 years old, he was like off doing a real job. Like 8, 9, and 10 years old, he was working 8, 10, 12 hours a day at a real job and getting paid for it to support his family. All his money went to his family. I know times have changed and everything, but I feel like we're still designed to work hard, long hours to provide for ourselves. And the society we live in now, where it's just consuming things, that children should just be entertained all day and told what to do and consume things, and then it's not doing us any good. I feel like that's what's causing a lot of anxiety and depression and other problems of our day, the obesity and poor health. So I do believe in hard work is really great for kids. I do try to balance it. Like in the summer, we do have like 1 or 2 hours in the morning and at night because of our garden and our blueberry patch. Our blueberries are only open for about 6 to 8 weeks, so it's not terribly long. But the kids, I ask them to choose. You want to go up and help us pick blueberries, or would you rather stay home and like do the laundry and the dishes? And they don't have to come. Like I never make them, but I appreciate their help. And we always talk. This is a family farm. We're in it together. I'm always pretty empathetic about asking them, how do you feel about living here? how do you feel about the chores? How do you feel about whatever? And they're all say they love living here. They want to keep it up. They like to work hard. So I don't really worry about it too much. As long as parents are asking their children that and they're not inconsiderate of them when they don't want to work. If any of my kids say they don't want to, then I'm going to ask them why. Like, do you not feel good? Do you not have proper shoes or clothes or something? Is it way too hot? Then when can we do it? Is it the coolest time of the day or the warmest time in the winter? I talk about the benefits of it. Like, it'll feel so good. Let's all stack wood for 1 hour and then we'll have it all stacked up. And the next 2 days, it's going to rain. We might even get some snow. We'll be able to sit inside and read together. Or we might have a power outage. We'll be so happy we have the wood. Like, I tell the reasons why that we get ready, why we need to work hard, and also the good satisfactory feelings that are going to come from having our wood pile all stocked up or produce from our garden. I mean, I'm going to show them the freezer of all this food that we have this year. This is our best year of gardening ever. I also just love to see the satisfaction on their faces of them growing their own things. Like Andy's corn, he was so happy when he grew that beautiful corn. He was so proud of it. And his mustard. I mean, all of this is building such great skills in children that are missing with the children that are in school and extracurricular activities and daycares all day long. And then they just come home and do homework and shower, eat dinner, and go to bed. And they don't have any of that productive feeling. I encourage my kids to do whatever they want, whether it's just sidewalk chalk or building things. Like Thomas building that obstacle course, he was just so proud of himself when he finished it last week. So proud of himself. And I loved that. And I never asked him to build it. I never, told him he had to go outside and work on something. I mean, he just went outside and started doing that. And he would go to the store and he bought all of it by himself. I mean, whatever we didn't have on hand, he bought. He never asked me for any money at all. And it is a gift for the family. And what a priceless gift that is of all that sacrificing of his hard work and time and his money. And now he's leaving on a mission and is not even going to be enjoying it, but he will know that it is going to our good use. One reason why I show us working so hard, though, is to show other parents that they can have their children work. That's kind of the purpose of my channel, is to show off homesteading and homeschooling things, and the kids can be outside contributing to the family. I want to bring families together that way. And just to help the families that think that kids need their own bedrooms, they need their own electronics, they need to be always going to birthday parties or having a birthday party at a skating rink or trampoline park. They need to be entertained all the time and in activities all the time. I want to just show them that you can do family work and the kids will get used to it and will love it, and they won't start back talking if that's what you're worried about. So anyway, I'm just trying to show other families the value of hard work in children. I also think it's funny that people are telling me to grow more of our own food and to get off food stamps, and then yet they're saying my kids work too hard. But with the garden, everybody wanted their own garden box, and we've always had our own garden box, actually. And then this year we made a bigger area because a fan generously gave us so many extra seeds, and the kids wanted to plant more, and they wanted their own rows in the pumpkin patch. So it was all my children led. They love their garden boxes. They're proud of them. They neglect them. I mean, right now, Andy's is pretty neglected, but that's his own, he'll see his own consequences and can do better next year or differently. But I'm not even going to say anything because I want him to learn that by himself without being told. Like, I do tell him to make his bed because I need a clean house. But for the garden box, I let them kind of decide to water it or not water it, fertilize it or not, or weed it or not. And it's just their own responsibility. And they can see, wow, I did a great job and grew this stuff, or I neglected it and it didn't grow, but my sisters did. So I think it's all great experience for them. That's all I'll say about hard work. I grew up in a hardworking family. They're all still incredibly hardworking, and I love it. So hopefully my kids love it. So far they do. They all have loved living here. They all want to stay here. And I hope that they pass on the hardworking traits to their families and see how much better mentally healthy they are than being on screens or being a consumer in this world in this day and age. Anyway, that's all for this whole question and answer video too. Thanks so much for watching. Keep sending your questions, and I will try to keep on doing these individual videos that I keep saying that I will, about raising respectful kids and several other topics that I said I'll do. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.